Everybody, it's Romania Black, and we are on volume 6 of Berserk. Technically, we are in the Deluxe Volume 2. This is the last volume of Deluxe Volume 2, which is really exciting. We'll get to see the covers, see if there's any extra stuff at the end of the volume. I'm really excited about that. But yeah, we've been in the Golden Age arc. We've met Zod, and now Griffith and Guts are just having a little chat right before Charlotte shows up. Which, honestly, this volume, I talked about it last week, this volume has spoiled the next coming volume by having the cover right on the next page. I don't know why. Volume 1 did not do that. They had a nice little convenient, insert page, but maybe there were so many pages they just couldn't afford to do that in print, and so they had to do this. I don't know. So we'll see if Volume 3 does that. It is what it is, but hopefully as it continues on, it doesn't give us that opportunity. So, although I guess, you know what? I don't usually watch previews for anime, but this could kind of be like a preview, and it'll get us hyped for next week if they end up doing that. So that's exciting. I do have some comments I want to talk about before we dive in with this. The one comment from Eric Joseph 2215 talked about Guts saying that his memories, carrying the memories of his partners in the present. And I did not think about this, but they were talking about how on his person he used throwing knives a few volumes back. He didn't use throwing knives before, but it's like after Judo's death, he carries not only the knives with him, but has a little pouch on him to put him in. I was like, oh, that's really, really cool. I had not thought about that, and that little aspect of Guts kind of taking on traits from his former partners to carry with him. That's really cool. I mean, I don't know what he would take from Pippin. Hopefully from Corcus he wouldn't take the venereal diseases, but we're just assuming that that's not going to be the case. And then you would think he would take Rickart's childlike innocence, but I don't think even Guts knows Rickart's fate. I'm honestly terrified to know Rickart's fate in the manga. The more we get into this series, the more I think I have a feeling Rickard does die, and it's going to be gruesome, and the anime was just like, we're not going to show you that. I'm like, oh no. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, but I thought that was a really cool touch of him having the holster for knives to honor Judo. I thought that was really, really cool. Nice. Then we have Moomin. Moomin pointed out that the painting where it's all the different stairs and it's the paradox is what I was trying to say, like the paradox of the stairs that are never ending, is a painting by M.C. Escher. I should have known that. I would have failed the art exam for M.C. Escher, but I really do like their artwork and kind of like the surrealist quality of it. I like the idea that this fantasy world has like surrealist art in it. I'm like waiting for Dolly to show up. It'll be great. And then Mecha Beach as well as Amir Almond talked about how it was physically possible to, what was it saying here? I have my notes. I can barely read my own notes. Physically possible to have a something as you are. As you die. What is this? What am I even trying to say? Oh, Guts, have a baby. You can't read my handwriting. Amir Almond and Mecha Beach were talking about how it is physically possible for a woman to have a baby as she dies. So it is very possible that Guts, as his mom was hanging, she gave birth to him, which is a terrifying concept in itself, but possible. And then I liked the idea that Amir Almond talked about Guts giving Theresia the rage to live on, and the idea of what Guts has been doing. Guts is living on this fury and rage to get back at Griffith for what he did. The problem is it's like that rage to get her to live is directed back to himself, and Guts feels awful about it. And he's like, man, I have to make this girl hate me so that she can maybe possibly live, but it's also kind of my fault. And then I'm still in this condition where I can't fight Femto, and it's just not a good deal all around. Probably a good idea that Miura let us have like a backstory arc after that moment, right? So I thank you all for the comments. I am very, very excited to get into volume 6 to finish up this deluxe edition, and then to start volume 3 next week with volume 7. So I'm excited. I hope you all are too, but we're not gonna waste any more time. We're gonna take a sip and just see what this gives us. So I hope you all enjoy, but we are gonna start volume 6 of Berserk. And we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1. And here's that cover. Let's see what we got in store for us. Oh my God, there is a quite a few chapters in this volume. Quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, not 10 chapters. Wow, they're actually a lot of little chapters. I wonder, and these are about 20-page chapters. Interesting. I wonder if Miura, by the time he got to this volume, if he was being serialized differently. Because, you know, sometimes like Isayama with Attack on Titan, those chapters were like 50 pages each and they came out monthly. Some authors released like 20-page chapters weekly. With this level of detail, I would hope he wasn't releasing weekly. That seems like a lot of energy and time and effort to do like a weekly chapter. So maybe it was monthly. Interesting. How very curious. I'm curious to know, I wouldn't consider this a spoiler if people down below talked about like what was his like release schedule like? Like, did he do monthly? Did he do weekly? Did it change over time? Obviously, I don't want to know details as to the whys or anything of why they would change over time or anything like that. But if anybody knows, that would be curious to talk about in a future discussion. But yeah, I picture the Gats theme playing and like the wind blowing everything in this moment. The soundtrack for the 1997 anime, if anybody dogs it, whatever, I love it. But there's one thing I don't think you can dog it for, and that's its soundtrack. Its score is beautiful. It's so epic and sprawling, and I love the Guts theme. It fits perfect. I can hear it as the scene is playing. Also, I want to note the little, I'm going to point to it down here, the little way that the text is written for Berserk on there. It almost looks like chapter 2, it looks like the typography for Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if that's a thing, but it looks very reminiscent of it. Oh, I mean, look, Guts looking over at Griffith. Griffith looks like a beautiful model. They're just like looking at each other. It's a ship. I'm sorry, it is. It's so a ship. And then that damn crutch is right in between them, right? The White Hawk. I like that they call Griffith the White Hawk. Like, not just the band of the Hawk, but he is specifically. Wow, look at Julius. He looks so imposing there. And there's the king. Wow. Yeah, Julius looks super imposing. I also like how you can see the people's faces with their eyes blacked out. That's a very Isayama feel to it. Like a lot of the characters in Attack on Titan that are not like characters that will have a role. I know Julius will, but the characters that don't have a role, you just see the eyes and they're blacked out. That type of style feels like it's influenced by this. So I would think that that's probably possible. Nice. I like that opening shot of the king. That's very, very good. Oh, here we go. And then, this is interesting because in the anime, you know, Griffith bows and he tells Guts, he's like, hey, Guts, get down. And then Julius, man, okay, Julius gets his eyes are intense even here. Wow. In the anime, Julius's eyes were almost bugging out of his skull, and that's kind of how they look here. So that wasn't just a weird anime decision. They're like huge. Yeah, I feel like it's a softer moment in the manga. In the anime, Guts not bowing almost seemed like it was almost out of defiance. Like he was like, do I really have to? And here, you know, it almost seems like Griffith's like, hey, you want to get down here and bow before the king? Do it for your friend. And in the anime, it almost seemed more like Griffith giving him an order. So it's interesting how it translates different here, right? I'm just on a mere stroll. He's like Alucard. He just wants to take long, leisurely walks, right? And my younger brother, Count Julius, of course, well, he would be the younger brother. He is the general of the White Dragons and second in succession to the throne. Just let me give you all the exposition about the man you're going to need to kill. Yeah, most impressive. The thing about it is, I hope we get more with the king, because I genuinely like the king's character in the anime. He was just a kindly king, right? And you can't blame him for wanting to cozy up next to Griffith, because Griffith has given him a lot of success on the battlefield that he didn't have before. And Griffith minds his P's and Q's and dots his I's and crosses his T's and does everything perfect. He just happens to have a bad boy best friend. Yep. And so they talk about the old customs and all that. And of course, I like that Julius and Griffith both have the floofy hair. And then, yeah, Griffith saying, for your sincere word of thanks, I am most grateful. Something that's interesting about that panel is, I'm going to try to like zoom in on that, make it a little clearer. But on that panel where Griffith says, I am most grateful, his hair covers up his mouth. And sometimes if an mangaka wants to portray that a character is lying or not saying what they truly mean, they'll cover up their mouth to like, almost like, speak no evil sort of thing. So I feel like in this moment, Griffith having the hair over his mouth and his eyes closed means that maybe he's not sincere. Possibly. There's Charlotte. Look at her. Oh, she looks so demure. She looks like a little lamb, the most timid of creatures, right? Why, that is my daughter Charlotte. She seldom comes out of the palace. And yeah, I wouldn't blame her for swooning for Griffith. He's handsome. How could you not? And then, oh, yep, she trips as she falls, and he happens to catch her. Nice. Interestingly, in this moment, like Griffith has a little by his face, like he's like, oh, surprised. It doesn't feel like it was an intentional, like, I'm saving you because I'm trying to schmooze you to take the throne. It genuinely, like, his surprise, it almost feels like his body acted before his mind could react, which is interesting. Almost like Griffith naturally would not let her fall. Like, he would naturally want to help her. Now, we could argue whether that's him being kind and compassionate and actually having a heart, or was it his body like reacting like, this is what you need to do? Is it fate? You could argue a lot of different things about it, but I like that the manga is making it seem like he's as surprised that he saved her as she is that he saved her as well. So that's neat. Okay. But then, yeah, here's the thing about it, though. Like, he seems genuinely surprised he saved her, and then he's like, oh, please be careful. And, he's being a gentleman, and then Julius comes up and bitch slaps him, and guts his face when he's like, hey, pal, that's my friend over there. Like, what do you think you're doing? And, because, yeah, that was not called for. But then the face that Griffith makes, where he's like, pardon my rudeness, your lordship, that face... that is like demonic. That is just like, I'm going to kill you in your sleep for slapping me across the face for no reason. Like, that's, yeah. It's like Griffith he has a face, he has a mask, a persona, and then underneath it, he's like, a totally different being. And Julius's face is like, he sees that and is like, everybody that sees Griffith's true face, whether it's Julius or whether it's, Eggman, Humpty Dumpty, whether it's either of those, they all kind of like have a visceral reaction. Guts is like, I don't know what you're talking about. He seems perfectly fine. But yeah, Julius is like, oh, that's a little bit intimidating. But then, man, also giving Griffith that Dorito torso. Look at that Dorito shaped body. Like, he is cinched to the gods. He is like, he's done his corset training. Like, Griffith is like, I'm going to look damn good in front of you, princess. I don't blame her for swooning. I don't blame her. And then that face that Guts makes. It's, Guts and her are both completely taken by him. And who could blame them, right? Everybody's taken by Griffith. But just Guts in that moment, she's kind of swooning because here's this dashing rogue that, is polite and gentlemanly and saved her. And then Guts is like, man, my best friend can hold his own and gonna be king one day. And look at all this. And yeah, it's just, God, it makes the fall so much harder. Right? And then, yeah, you have Julius like clenching his robes, and then there's these gossipy bitches that are talking about Griffith, right? That he's going to be made into a count. Uh-huh. Oh, wow. You know who these three girls remind me of? They remind me of the three blonde bimbos that are in Beauty and the Beast. They have like the yellow, green, and red dresses on, and they're all like the really ditzy girls that like Gaston. That's who these three remind me of. He's superb, prettier than me, and I'm a woman. How frustrating. He's a leader of the strongest military and elegant and dignified. It's hard to believe he's a commoner. He's so much more refined than those awkward aristocrats that are inbred. They're all boorish and rude. Yeah, Julius has some pretty intense eyes, the way that he's drawn, right? Chirping sparrows. I love he calls them chirping sparrows. Foss, that's his name. Minister Foss. I always called him Humpty Dumpty for the longest time because the anime didn't give us his name for a bit, and he has like an egghead. Now, back in the anime, when the reactions were going on, I thought he was going to end up being one of the demons. I thought, because his head, the way it's shaped, I didn't realize that Miura draws a lot of villainous characters with that same motif in their design. And I thought he was going to end up being one of the demons and was going to transform into one of them when we got the eclipse. Wrong indeed. Wrong indeed. He's like, what about my white dragon knights? Oh. Uh-huh. This year, it'll be Band of the Hawk. What? This is supposed to be Year of the Dragon. What are you doing? Oh, that is an expression. That is an expression. Oh, wow. I'm honestly surprised that Julius was not a victim like the Count in this series. Because now that we know the Count character who kind of sold his soul to become a demon, I'm surprised that Julius didn't, to like, you know, get rid of Griffith, but he probably didn't even know that was an option. I'm just surprised that the demon lords didn't like come in and try to do some crazy things, but that wouldn't have worked because they totally want Griffith to get from point A to point B. So having Julius do any type of deal with the devil would make that null and void. So they're going to be like, no, they want Griffith to coast to get where they want him to be. So that makes sense, but could have happened. That would have been interesting. What if he'd like ate Adonis or something? That would have been wild. So many options. A rumor told by many. And that damn horse. I love that horse's drip gets better and better as time goes on. Look at that horse and its beautiful cape. It gets better and better. I love it. He's a godsend in our time of conflict. If we aren't careful, he might reach the level of general. And yeah, and Julius, he couldn't possibly, like, not only stand the idea of someone rising up the ranks to nobility, but also threatening his job, being like, oh, I got this weak-ass kid that's like 10, and what if him and Charlotte marry and have a kid? Then I won't be up in line for the throne anymore. Neither will my son. Ugh. So, yeah. Which I'm curious if they're ever going to talk about that, because Julius seems to kind of have in his mind, I always got the impression that Julius thought he was going to take the throne. And I was like, but you know the king has a daughter, so. But then he wanted her to marry Adonis. That's what it is. He wanted her to marry. He wanted them to become little inbred kids. That's what it was. Ew. Good for her. Not good for her that Griffith came in and stopped that. If somebody came up to me and be like, your first cousin has to marry you, I'd be like, I'm gonna head right out. Uh-huh. Nice. I like this exchange between the two of them. I also like that this exchange, the anime team did skimp a little bit because this exchange happens in this beautiful courtyard with this amazing design of architecture around. And then in the anime, it's just like in a hallway. It's like, they're like, we don't want to draw all this. No. And they're like, oh, a stray arrow could be covered in poison. I do like that even as jealous as Julius is, he doesn't really want to kill Griffith at first. That wasn't his first thought. He was like, no. And then he's like, a stray arrow. And then he gets on board with it. Mm-hmm. But interesting. What a fitting way for a commoner to die. See that little expression at the end where his eye opens up? That's what made me believe he was going to turn into a demon. That was what it was. But I don't know. I thought Foss was going to end up being a demon and was like influencing things to be put into motion, like have the poison arrow happen, have all this go down. Didn't get that luxury. Interesting. Oh, damn. Hi, phallic symbolism. It's nice to see you again. I do like the perspective. That's not easy to draw. Have you ever tried to draw a sword coming at you like that? It is not easy. Perspective is hard, and I can't imagine trying to draw that. And I'd probably spend like 30 minutes trying to get that one perspective correct. But man, it's like the sword is Guts' way to shoot for the moon. And in the moon, the man in the moon is Griffith. For your sake. I love, Guts is just a typical bro, wielding his sword with two hands, pointing it towards the sky, and the goal he's pointing it towards just happens to be another man. Classic. Happens all the time. And then, I like that one time under the same moon. Under the same werewolf transformation moon, yes. Also, I'm just saying, like, he's holding the sword right where his dick is. Like, that's... it's a phallic representation if we've ever had one. I don't know if this is the answer I'm searching for or not. but I'll wield my sword for his sake for now. I do like the idea of for now. I like that Guts doesn't go gung-ho all in on this concept of I'm going to pledge my life to Griffith. I like that it's never that. It's just Guts is like, I don't know why, and I don't know what I'm here for, so I'm just going to follow Griffith around and protect him until I figure it out. Right? Now, if only I had told people that, that would have been fine. But nice. That's a really good shot of Guts, too. Like, he looks very handsome there. Nice. Nice. Ooh. Very pretty. I never liked Charlotte with her little hair up buns, and I know it's supposed to represent like her purity and like, you know, her hair's not undone, so she's a virgin, she's clean and pure, but I do like her with her hair down like that. That's really pretty, and like the pinstripes on the ribbon. Very, very cute, right? Assassin, chapter 1. Nice. Here we go. The poor hunting dogs. Those hunting dogs look a little bit scary. They are not foxhounds. They look more like Dobermans or Rottweilers or something. Quite the tenacious prey. Indeed. Man, Julius with his pilgrim hat is something else. Oh my God. And then, yeah, Griffith's like, I need no hat. I like that guy in the background. The guy in the background behind Griffith, he looks just like he could be anywhere else. He looks like he hates being there. Why? Who's this shady Robin Hood character that doesn't at all look suspicious? What? And then Guts. Yeah, I like the idea that Guts scares the fox away. Nice. I like the expressions on Guts. That's really funny. And then Guts with Judo and Corcus and all them. It feels natural when I'm swinging this around. Yeah. A lot of anime and manga focus on that concept of, you know, living by the sword, dying by the sword. And if you've battled your whole life and you leave battle, then what do? How do you acclimate to a society where you're not doing what you've always done? Nice. I loved this moment in the manga or in the anime where Rickert was like, Corcus again. Anytime Rickert could like shame Corcus, it was amazing. Loved it. And then the white dragon knights. Yep. And so Corcus kind of gets into revealing here that he's like, we risked all of our lives, you know, for so many others. Why is it ridiculous that we get promoted? Why do we not deserve the same privilege as them? We've sacrificed so much. I like that. I like getting like little insights into Corcus's character and kind of seeing his motivations. It's nice. And he's like, you live by the sword if you want to. And I like Guts is kind of like, that the expression on Guts's face is like, well, damn it, I know that it's, he's like, I know that I'm not supposed to live, you know, that have this mentality, but it's all I know, right? And Casca noticing it. I like Casca noticing Guts having a softer look. It's a good preface for kind of her opening up to him later on. And then, of course, after she sees Guts be vulnerable, she looks up top to see Charlotte with Griffith. And her hair is down. Interesting. So I guess, you know, maybe it wasn't all just for purity's sake. And she doesn't like hunting. Yeah. Yep. She's like, I don't think I will grow to like hunting. It's cruel. She's like, war is the same way. Why is it that men enjoy little more than shedding blood? She's like, dang it. Anti-war up here on this hill. And I like that Griffith doesn't exactly, I always thought this was interesting. He answers her question and talks about war with her at the fountain. It's almost like he thinks of his answer and how he wants to say it to her. And I kind of like that about Griffith's character, that Griffith is a more contemplative character. He's not somebody that he's not like Corcus. Corcus just spouts out whatever he's thinking and spouts out his ideology without even questioning it. He's just like, nope, this is what I think. This is what I do, like he did earlier. And Griffith's like, no, I want to think about it for a minute. Like, how do I answer her question? And Griffith's always thinking about how to say it and what's the meaning of it. So I like that he just takes the little leaf there and gets her to like put the smile on with the leaf and whistle with it. That's really, really cute. Like it's such a dorky flirting, but it's kind of effective. I would be like, you're a dork, but you're freaking hot. So I'll forgive it. And then, but poor Casca, you know, Griffith's out here having this nice little moment with Charlotte. Ah, that face that she makes. The face she makes is like, well, I can see what's happening. She's like Timon and Pumbaa singing in the background. She's like, I can see what's happening and nobody else here has a clue. But he's flirting with her. He's playing the game. She's just like, got it, figured it out. And then she heads off. And I like that Guts looks up at Casca and Charlotte, but doesn't seem to come to the same conclusion. But she figures it out and he's like, I wonder what she was upset about. And then, yeah, that's when the boar like comes around, drives it out, and like scares Charlotte's horse, which let's talk about that for a hot second. I don't know if I talked about it in the anime or not, but have you ever rode a horse before? They are terrifying. We had a horse when I was a kid. Her name was Misty, and named obviously after the Pokemon gym leader. But her name was Misty, and she was an older horse, and she was old enough where she just kind of walked. She did not gallop or trot. She was a walking horse, and that was it. But I was always terrified of being on her because I was always afraid that something would scare her and she would just take off running, because then I'd be like, I can't control this wild. I mean, she wasn't, a wild animal, but I can't control this animal that I'm dependent on to keep me from falling to my death. And I remember my mother was riding her one time and a dog like came up and nipped at her heel, and she like raised up and threw my mom off the back of her and really hurt her. And not severely, but like enough that I was like, nope, not doing that anymore. So I've never been a horseback rider. They've always scared me, and I'm like, So maybe if I had like an ancient pony, I could ride on the back of an ancient pony that I knew would not run. But no, that's terrifying. That's a terrifying feeling I feel for Charlotte. And then, of course, Griffith goes after to get her, and there's the arrow, right? Man, they set that scene up really well. And then she, of course... Oh, I like that she falls on him. That's a nice touch. That she's like, I was so scared. I've never been on a wild horse in my life like that. I love that. I love that she hugs... Okay, I guess she hugged him, not fell on him. Okay. That's really cute. I like that scene. But, just delaying it enough. Yep, your mind's been taken care of somewhat. Oh, whoa, they ended the chapter there? That's cruel. That is cruel. Oh, if these chapters were released monthly and you saw Griffith get an arrow to his chest and it ended there for a month, that would have been very cruel. That would have not been good. Yeah, that picture of Casca is perfect. That's the perfect expression of son of a bitch. All right. I like the Guts is the first way. It's like, Griffith, no. Yeah, I was like, I didn't think the arrow was going to hit him. I thought they were going to save him beforehand. And then, of course, I like that Casca, she makes it there before. Like, Guts is the one that screams, but she like boots everybody out of the way and runs to him. And then Guts goes to the princess. Okay. And then let's get this. I'm like, Guts is like, where'd the arrow come from? And she's like, I don't know. Let go, you big brute. I'm like, it's interesting how Guts and Casca react both for Griffith's sake. And then Judo's sitting there being like, okay, what do we do with this arrow? And Guts is like, I'm gonna kill him. Okay, from the Calabel bean. Okay. And he's like, don't get so worked up. What a move. What a move doing the hand like to where her tears are all at. What? Oh. And then he's like, the arrow, and he takes it out. It's poison. The behelit was a shield. Oh, and there it is, pierced. And Guts is like, well, funny that just saved you. How about that, huh? Oh, that's a great shot. That looks amazing. Get it, Mira. Get it. And is it the necklace you always wear? The devil's own luck. It's a good luck charm. I like Guts saying the devil's luck. This is no ordinary luck. Yeah, I'm glad. Because here's the thing. Guts kind of like brought up the behelit, and Griffith's like, I just got this from a random person. Isn't that funny? And Guts is like, Dude, you're like one of the most perceptive people I know. Surely you don't think that it's just a random trinket. I mean, I feel like Guts, I like that he's perceptive enough to be like, this seems a little bit more than that. I don't know. And he's like, it was really nothing. I thought that out of context, when Casca's like, you should take off your armor, like out of context, that's really, really funny. Because she's like, you should strip naked for us to make sure you're not poisoned. She's like, there's a risk. And I love, I love Griffith's his little huff of air. He's like, girl, I'm not getting naked for you. That's great. He's like, honestly, we're fine. I'm getting naked for no one. And then, of course, Charlotte apologizes. And Casca's like, here's the thing. Casca is a nice enough person where even though, you know, she loves Griffith and she's kind of like mad that Griffith is going to probably end up with Charlotte, she seems like she kind of realizes that Charlotte sincerely is concerned, and she kind of has this look on her face like, well, damn it. She's nice. I can't hate her, you know. But then that is where Griffith looks at Julius. Oh, a high price to pay. Oh, snap. Yes. Ooh, that line. Ooh, that line. And Casca's like, what did you say? Were you mumbling to yourself about killing the king's brother? A high price to pay for this poison. Uh-huh. Yeah, he instantly put two and two together and was like, well, who would have the money to buy a high-level poison to kill me? Oh, the king's brother that hates me. I can't imagine why. Oh. Okay. And yep. Okay. A Tudor assassin. Yep. And now the boy's a hero and the king is even my brother loves him even more. You just made it worse. Oh my God. And we've helped him advance even further. The pinnacle of ineptitude. I like that line a lot. Mm-hmm. But if the arrow was meant for the princess, what an amazing coincidence made to pierce his heart. Oof. Yep. Those eyes, like he was trying to daunt me. Like he was looking down on some worthless thing. Oh, like Femto. Like Femto looking down on somebody worthless. Like, you aren't even worth my time. And those eyes, like a beast hunting his prey, like a hawk. Man, the foreshadowing of Femto and the hawk motif, such a good villain, like, layout, right? Are we getting the murder boys plotting together in the library? Are we getting the murder boys rendezvous in the library? Yes, please. Yes, please. Oh, there isn't any proof it couldn't be. Ooh, I love the frame in the window of Julius in the window shot, and then beyond him, I love the sun setting in the window shot, but if you look at it, it looks like an eye. That's so freaking cool. And the moon. Can we appreciate in this bottom panel here? Can we appreciate Mira and the way he draws Guts? Look, that booty, that abs, like muscular. You're making a girl thirsty, Mira. I'm just saying. The back muscles. You know what? It's like Griffith is in his study. He's had a long day of politicking, a long day of playing the game. And then like his gym bro lover shows up like fresh out of the sauna. And he's like, hey man, you want to murder some royalty? Oh my God. Like Guts is like, what an interesting place you have. They're totally different individuals, right? Opposites attract. But damn, Mira, you get that female demographic. Them shoujos doing you some good research, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. Oh, most of them. I like these, like, I've read most of them. You have to do more than fight. Half of them are just light reading. I love Guts is like, bleh. No. History, religion, philosophy, chemistry, tactics, and then quirky ones like cosmetics or cooking. Even things like this. Oh! Want to borrow it? Want want to borrow this sex book? I'm showing you sex poses. Are you into that sort of thing? Are you about that sort of thing? Are you okay with that? Although that's with a woman. It's a man and a woman. Did he take the book? Did he take the book and he's looking at it? He said, do you want to borrow it? Guts didn't say no. Is that the book in his lap? Is he just looking at this porn? I feel like it's Love Actually, where the manager and what's his face, Bill Nighy's character, the rock and roll musician, he's like, let's get pissed and watch porn. Like, that's literally, he's like, do you want to stay at my library and read this porn while I do like business work, and I can like watch you out of my peripheral? I want you to kill a man for me. Oh, what a great way to end that chapter. And here's the thing, like, Griffith up until this point asking Guts to go into battle for him, it's like this was the turning point of Griffith's character for me, because up until then, when Griffith is, everything kind of was like, okay, A equals B, A plus B equals C. It's like, for Griffith to become a king, he has to rise the ranks of royalty. For him to rise the ranks of royalty, he has to become a general. For him to become a general, he needs to lead an army. For him to lead an army, he's going to need Guts to fight for him. And so it was like all of these things kind of made sense, and they all followed along like a pattern of, this is just the natural flow of the society ladder that Griffith's rising. And yeah, people get killed in battle, but they're fighting a war, and the people fighting the war are fighting them back, right? So that part wasn't as disturbing, but this crosses a different line. This is like, hey, this guy, he's not really a threat to me, but I want him gone. So can you go kill him? And like everybody surrounding him. It's like, ooh, that's the moment it changes. And my view of Griffith was like, oh, huh. I know you're supposed to become a villain, Griffith, but okay, is this where it starts? Yeah. Oh my gosh, Julius Manor. Like, Guts looks really cute with the little hood. That actually looks really cute. That's adorable. Aw, little Guts. Okay, kill the man second in line to the throne. I like Guts is like, that guy. The reason is this. Oh, wow. And Guts is like, okay, I guess I forgot this in the anime, that his excuse was, he's like, hey, I figured out the poison is from him. He was trying to kill me, Guts. Are you going to let him get away with that? Ooh, that is interesting. Yep, and the maids investigated and found it out. But, I haven't talked about this with anyone. It's an assassination. It is fundamentally different than crossing swords with an enemy in battle. It's dirty work. And you can't be seen. And I'm asking you to do this. Ooh, I also like Guts obviously looks like freaking Adonis. Like, he's the most muscular picture of physical perfection there. But I like that Griffith is not a slouch either. Like, you can see how defined he is. And like, he has muscle shape and dimension. He's just not showing it off like Guts is. Yeah, so this is like, he's like, can you do this for me? And then he's like, can I count on you? He's like, I ain't like you. Just cut to the chase and order me to do it like always. That is such a moment, because Guts kind of like, he's like, look, you're planning all this out and plotting. Just tell me you want to kill the guy and it's fine. Now, here's the thing. If Griffith hadn't brought up the arrow and hadn't brought up that Julius had tried to kill him, would Guts have been as eager to go do the job? I don't know. I think that's a really interesting thing to ask, is that Guts, as soon as he sees the arrow and figures out Julius was trying to kill Griffith, he's like, oh, he tried to kill you? Oh, he's got to go. And was totally on board with it. But I'm curious if, Griffith hadn't taken into the arrow. It felt like Griffith was like, he had the arrow ready to bring out, being like, if Guts was wavering in offering to do this for him, he'd be like, well, he did try to kill me, so are you sure you don't want to back out? But he didn't have to worry about that. So that's fascinating to me. Very interesting. And Guts kind of sets himself up here, because he's like, just do like always and order me to do it. So when Guts leaves later and Griffith's like, but you've always just followed my orders, and Guts like, nope, off to find myself, that makes it hit even harder, because Griffith's like, you're not acting like you normally do. And it feels more like a betrayal. Oh, little Adonis. Oh, yep. Adonis, he's like such a little kid there. He looks so small. He's like, who's that kid? And he's like, you're the son of royalty. Yep. Hasten. Yeah. Adonis has to become the leader of the White Dragon Knights. He may possibly wed Princess Charlotte to gain control of Midland. Yeah, I feel like it's what the son of royalty is destined to do. I like the idea that they add the line, he may possibly have to wed Princess Charlotte. Like, that maybe wasn't part of the game plan, but now that Griffith is there as a threat, it's like Julius is like, okay, now things are being put into motion. I have to get Adonis ready to marry Charlotte. He has to become general. I always felt bad for Adonis out of all of this. This kid did not ask for any of this, and he doesn't complain. He just accepts it, which is good for you, kid. Good for you. Because, yeah, he just takes it. But it's that, like, he's like, don't cool down too much. It affects tomorrow's training. He's like, don't be disheartened. Since the Countess died, your father's tried to do all he can to raise you as a knight. Don't resent his actions. And it feels like, you know, Adonis is very conflicted, but he doesn't seem mad at his dad. He's just kind of like, this sucks, right? And I like Hassan tries to, like, you know, coddle him a little bit. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And that's when Guts thinks of him and Gambino. And he's like, ugh. He's like, I can't be careless at a time like this. Yeah, because he starts to think, he's like, this kid Adonis kind of reminds me of myself. And Julius reminds me of Gambino. But he's like, I've got to purge that from my mind. I've got a job to do. And Julius is just on edge. Yeah. Just on edge. But yeah, and then he thinks of Hellfire, Darkfire. Sees Griffith in the flames. Yes. And then here is Guts. You know, he upgrades his Incognito's looks as we go through this arc. He starts out with his little hood, his little ghost hood, and then he upgrades to a big feathery hat. So Guts gets to upgrade as we go. Oh my God. Yes. Wow, Mira. All right. And him going for the sword from the knight. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, and he slashed him, though. Shit. That's just one clean swipe. Oh, my gosh. Ah, you know what that scene reminds me of? It reminds me of Sweeney Todd spoilers. Sweeney Todd spoilers. If you've not seen the musical Sweeney Todd, just skip through the next 30 seconds. Where in Sweeney Todd, he's a barber and he kills people by slitting their throats. And there's one woman that knows him, and she like looks up at him, and she's like, hey, don't I know you? And he like kills her before she can reveal who she is. And it's like this big thing. Yeah, that's what that looks like. He's like, yeah, I know you. You're Griffiths. What is he of Griffiths? Well, that is for the audience to determine clearly. I like that Miura leaves that word out. You don't get to find out what Julius thought they were. But man, Adonis. You can see on his belt the little knives and stuff from judo. That's really cute. Or no, that's just his knife. That's not the judo knives yet. This is still too soon. Oh. And he's like an intruder. I've been seen. Oh, wow. Oh, he didn't realize it was Adonis. I can't remember if he realized in the anime or not, but the fact that he didn't know it was him, he just saw someone coming that saw him and just stabbed without thinking. And it was Adonis. That death was rough. This kid. Oh, and yeah, I mean, it went right through him. Oh. Oh. See, I think the manga, because there was a comment a few volumes ago where somebody was like, oh, Guts is traumatized by all the children he's murdered. And I was like, well, the only child we've seen him murder was Adonis. And in the anime, they don't really show him having too much remorse in that moment because everything happens so fast. He just has to like go from Adonis to the guards and kill and get out of there. And then he never really reflects on it in the anime because too much other stuff is happening and we move on. So here, he definitely looks a little bit more like shocked that he killed Adonis, and maybe we'll reflect more on that. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, man. That page. Oh my God, with the little shoe? With the little shoe here? That is, oof. And then, oh, he reaches for him. Guts grabbing the hand. Oh my God. He's grabbed the hand of Sis. He's grabbed the hand of Gambino. And now he's grabbed the hand of Adonis. Oh, that is, oof. That is some symbolism there, my friends. Some symbolism. Oh, and then, yeah, I'm coughing up blood and he drops the hand. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. And then he dies there. Yeah. So, okay. So Guts does have a reaction to it. He is visibly upset that he killed this kid. Okay, good. The anime doesn't nearly make it seem as upsetting to Guts. For the record, I never got that feeling. But this, he genuinely looks upset. But then what can you do? Because then these guards show up and Guts is like, I've got to get through them. But I like that Guts doesn't have really any remorse killing them. He's like, oh God. But the kid that reminds him of himself. And then poor Hanan. Damn. Yeah, Hanan's like, oh no. Oh, Hassan. Such a young child, how merciless. In the end, not once did this boy get to make his father smile. Oof. Yep. Damn. Oh my God. But dim thighs. Miura. Oh my God. Oh, that is. Hey, look on the bright side. At least Julius and Adonis won't be in a sea of souls in Hades. At least that's the case, you know? At least we got that to think of. But yeah, the arrow got in his arm. Ugh. That would hurt like a bitch, you know? And then to go in the sewer, I'm sorry, but that arm in that sewer, they have better have some high power antiseptic because that would have been leaving an infection. I'm just saying. Ugh. Nope. Oh, wow. The sounds of swords clashing. Gambino. I was trying to get him to appreciate me. Ooh, and then there's Zod. Oh, nice. I don't want answers, obviously. I don't want spoilers, but I'm like, the fact of Guts looking at Gambino, who is like a father figure to him, and then seeing Zod showing up there, is that like a father figure to him? I don't spoil me. I'm going to keep my wild theory that Zod is like Guts' dad in the back of my mind until the manga proves me wrong. And if I'm wrong, it's fine, but don't tell me yet. Let me figure this out. Let me stew on this theory and just keep riding the high of it because, oh, that's so crazy. Because yeah, oh man, he just chops Gambino's head off. And then, oh. And then he kills Guts, but is Zod going to become Guts? Is that what it's going to be? Is Guts going to see himself in Zod? Yes, that's what it is. That's what it was from the episode. Yes, that he became the monster. He was a child trying to get his father's affection, and he becomes the monster that kills all of that. Oh, I see it as foreshadowing, but we'll see. We'll just have to see. All right. Ugh. Oh no. Oh shit. Yeah, him like the back of his head where he hit and fell. Dude's got a concussion. He's got shit on him. He's got an arrow wound. Life is not good for Guts. And you know, the moment he walked into that tavern after being in that sewer, he probably smelled like shit. So, but then again, it's medieval times, so the BO there is probably pretty bad as well. I like the way that Corcus is sitting, just like, oh, look at me. It's got its perks being a knight commander. Griffith's eating the good stuff at the princess's dinner party. I like that Rickert looks a little bit older there. Like Rickert's got a broader like chest and shoulder there. Interesting. I'm sure it's just stiff up there. And then, yeah. I love that Corcus is like, he's probably just practicing with his sword alone again as usual. He's just goofing off. We're supposed to have a joint practice today, and that's when Guts shows up. I like Corcus looking over at Rickert, and he's just like, no, I want this food. Oh, yeah. Oh, Guts just looks absolutely awful. He just looks like he's been through hell and back. Oh. Why do you look like that? Did you fall in a moat or something? Did you get in a bunch of shit? And he's like, where's Griffith? She's like, he's at a dinner party. And he's like, nope, gotta go. Like, he just is barely there. And she's like, well, something's clearly wrong. But what could it be? And then he's got an arrow wound. I like Rickert's like, what's with Guts? Uh-huh. But she's gonna go after him. Wow. And look at this. Look at this final page. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Griffith. I like that Guts is just like on this path to find Griffith to tell him the job is done, to tell him that I did my duty, everything's good, just so you know, gotta check in with you. Is there unnecessary boobery with the mermaid? Yes. It's very artsy though, so I don't mind it. I do like the design of the fountain though, with the dragony dolphins. And then old booby mermaid. I don't know. The booby mermaid's fountain seems a little bit much because they're such aristocrats. It seems like they'd be like, oh, how dare her breasts be exposed? Like, it seems like one of those moments. So I think Mira just wanted to draw boobs. And he's like, all right, we'll do this. You got to see Guts' thighs 10 seconds ago. Quit complaining. That is a nice shot, though. I love her in the dress and Griffith just courting her around with his little penny loafers. That's a really good shot. Nice. Oh, ooh, I like down there at the bottom, Guts with the helmet and his eyes look kind of dead there. Like he's just, the idea of him being just this soldier for Griffith. Like it's kind of this idea of him abandoning what he wanted to do. He didn't want to kill Adonis, but in order to do Griffith's orders, he had to. So interesting. And precious thing. Oh, I like the spread of Guts. This looks really good. And he always holds his sword, right? Holding a sword like he has since he was a kid. Nice. Oh, man. This ball and everything. Beautiful. Oh, I love this. And then, oh, the perspective of the fountain with the dragons and the dolphins. Nice. I love that. And the water. That's gorgeous, Mira. I love that. That's such art. And then, yeah, girl being like, I'm so tired. And Griffith's like, girl, I got you. I got you. All right, now here we go. This is a big moment of truth. This big speech at the fountain. It's like one of those iconic moments in Berserk, I feel. And he's like, have a seat. Uh-huh. And then Casca's like, no. She's like, you are covered in shit. The princess will freak out upon seeing you. What are you doing, sir? He just looks like a lost puppy. Like, Guts just looks like a lost puppy waiting to go back to his master. She's like, do you want to go up there like that? Don't embarrass Griffith. Wait until they're done talking. And then she's like, I need this. I like that she doesn't even wait for him to speak. She's like, okay, give me this. And she cuts her sleeve to, like, fix his arm. This was the moment that I was like, okay, Casca and Guts' relationship has taken a twist. It's kind of like the Griffith using Guts to do his dirty work was a twist in their relationship because it was personal. And this moment here where Casca, like, without asking, without saying anything, she knew what Guts needed in that moment. She's like, let me just do this. And she doesn't get on to him. She doesn't yell at him. She's just like, hey, don't embarrass Griffith. You clearly want to think the best of him. Here, let's do this. And him just looking at her, it's like, yeah. Like, that is a twist in their relationship. And it's just so subtle, right? Okay. And then is this right? The host is stealing away. They'll enjoy themselves regardless. She's like, it'd be much better just to end the war itself. And so this is where he's been thinking about her question. And he's like, you asked me at the hunting grounds, but it could certainly be that men possess that savage side. But that is a tool by which they secure and protect a precious thing. It's a double-edged sword. I like that, again, he says that precious thing to protect, and we see the woman with the nude upper torso that's exposed. And I like that Charlotte immediately asks, like, oh, like a friend or a sweetheart. And he's like, well, for some like that. But for a man, before he can obtain those two things, a family or a sweetheart, he has to come across one other precious thing. For no other's sake, to accomplish it for himself, a dream. So a man has ambition. And once that man accomplishes his ambition or his dream, then you can focus on a family or a sweetheart. I don't think that's universally for men. I think that could be for women too, that a woman may want to accomplish that dream before anything else after that. I think that's a pretty universal ideal. And she's like, a dream? And I like that Guts is like, we've never talked about these dreams you speak of. He's like, one dreams of world domination, one who devotes his whole life to the thorough tempering of one sword. Yeah, if there is a dream which takes one his whole life to find, there are also dreams which, like storms, devour tens of thousands of other dreams. And this is so interesting because it's like, Griffith is one who dreams of world domination. Ha Griffith. And then one who devotes his whole life to tempering of a sword. Guts. And he's like, you could take your whole life doing it. And he's like, there could be a dream that could take your whole life to find, which is Guts. His whole life could be finding what that dream is. And then other dreams that devour thousands of others, which is what happens with Griffith. He's describing him in Guts, right? With no relation to social status, class, or background, whether it suits them or not, people yearn for a dream. They're sustained by a dream, hurt by a dream, revived by a dream, and killed by it. And even after being abandoned, it continues to smolder from the bottom of their heart until the verge of death, which is exactly what happens to Griffith. It keeps festering in him and keeps him alive. A man should envision such a lifetime once, a life spent as a martyr to the God-named dream. Like, you should devote everything to that dream. Mm-hmm. I like that Guts is just like, but I don't have a dream. Even though Griffith's described it, and Casca's like, what is happening here? And then he's like, ultimately to be born and then simply live for no better reason. I can't abide by such a lifestyle. Ooh, so that's interesting how he words that. I feel like it's a little different than the anime. He says, to be born and just to survive without any purpose. He's like, I can't abide by that. Which is what Guts has been doing this whole time, right? And Charlotte's like, oh, and then I like that Griffith gets like really serious, and then he has these little moments of childishness where he's like, oh, sorry, I was chattering, never mind. And she's like, no, keep going. It's like, this is the first time I've talked with a man this way. You are a wondrous person. Mm-hmm. And then, because he's such an enigma, right? You say things that a philosopher would say. And you're a wondrous person. So that's interesting. So the thing about, the friends. Here we go. I was going to say, did we skip that? He's like, I imagine all of your friends must have come so far with you, attracted by that charm. And Casca, oh man, that's so good that Casca like clenches her fist there, because she's like, she has those feelings for Griffith where she thinks he's such a wondrous person, but she can't say them out loud because she knows his ambition and she doesn't want to be a burden to him and to hold him back. So for her to have to watch another woman get to say the words she wants to say, oh, that's cruel. He's like, they're excellent troops. They are my valuable comrades and they devoted themselves to the dream I envision. But to me, a friend is something else. Someone who would never depend on another's dream, who wouldn't be compelled by anyone, but would determine and pursue their own reason to live. And should anyone trample that dream, he would oppose him body and soul, even if the threat were me, myself. Foreshadowing! Yeah, like at that moment, you're like, and now that we've seen, we started by meeting Femto in the other dimension, it's like, yep. Which is interesting because it's like, does Femto consider him a friend? He doesn't say it. He calls him useless and, worthless trash, basically, in the other dimension. But it's like, well, by all accounts, Guts should not be your friend, right? That he's opposing you with his heart and soul, even if you were the threat yourself. What I think a friend is one who is my equal. And there's Miura with the little open mouth, like the gaspy face. I guess maybe that's why Femto is not impressed with Griffith, with Guts right now, because Guts is theoretically not Femto's equal. Maybe that's it. Like, Griffith's like, I want someone who's my equal. And as a mortal, when they have that duel, yeah, Guts is an equal or better to him. But once he becomes Femto, then Guts gets relegated back down the ladder. So, again, I have a theory that Guts is going to have to become either part demon or a demon in order to face Femto on an equal playing field. So there's that. But man, that image, yes, of him of Griffith being on this pedestal and there be this like darkness separating them. And the idea that Guts is on the staircase to climb up to Griffith, but there's no indication of how many steps there are or if he's going the right direction. What symbolism, right? Okay. What amazing confidence. He's like, yes, I have such high self-esteem. And that's how I've achieved everything so far. There were days when I had not even a slice of bread to eat. But now I can talk like this to the princess of a whole kingdom. Shut up, please. Ooh. And she's, so taken in. And she's like, what is your dream? And at this point, when he's flirting with her, Casca's like, okay, I've seen enough. Never mind. Let's get out of here. I don't want to watch him make out with her. But then that is the disaster. Julius has died. And even his son, Adonis. Oh, shit. That face. I mean, he looked pretty sinister in the anime, but no, there's no doubt in this moment. There is no doubt at all. His face, he's like, everything is according to plan. Oh my God, that face. He's like, oh, Guts did everything I wanted him to. How nice of him. My beautiful, obedient dog. Oh my God. Oh, that face. That is sinister. Sinister shit. Oh. And then, yeah. And then Guts just left. Man, that sucks. And she's like, did you... I think that moment Casca put 2 and 2 together, maybe, that Guts killed him, but... And that's why he was going to Griffith to tell him, but he found out anyway. Oof. So, yep, all right. The Midland royal family crest, a castle bearing a crown seated in the midst of the heavens. What a fitting kingdom for Femto to take over. What a fitting kingdom. The legendary Tower of Triumph. Oh, wow. Ooh, departure for the front. Nice. Look at this horse. Look at this horse with this helmet and this gear. Have horses ever had armor like that? That horse would hate that. If you've ever worked with horses, that horse would be freaking its shit out. What? Oh man, and there he is. Yep, speak of the devil. Speak of the devil indeed. Yep. Oh, and Foss. Oh, man. Oh, how about this assassination, huh? Silly thing, huh? It's just a rumor, huh? The work of a demon. Ooh. No, it is no demon. It is the work of man. Oh, nice. Nice. I love that. Incidentally, Sir Griffith, there's a rumor involving the assassinations. One of the arrows might have intentionally immediately... At this moment, I was like, Foss screwed himself. Because the moment he brought up that stupid arrow, I was like, Griffith's going to put 2 and 2 together and figure you out. What are you doing? Why would you do that? But He just had to get that, like, and yes. He had to, like, have the last word. Like, that was a very bad decision if you think you're going to try to influence him or intimidate him. Like, come on now. And then, yeah, Griffith's like, what an interesting story. Oh, my God. And then him at the end of the hallway. And the outline of him, it looks like Femto, like the outline of him there. Yeah, he's a crafty one, all right. Crafty one indeed. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, God. They just make him look more and more sinister. They're like, yeah, if you have any doubts that Griffith is terrifying, here you go. And he's still human. So that is, oh, it's like, you're dead, dude. You are done. Dunzo. And then Casca looking all over for Griffith. And then that's when she runs into Charlotte. Yep. And then here's my little knight. Okay. It's made from lotus stone, which is a magnet. It's a memento of the former queen of my mother's. Okay, so yeah, I always thought in the anime that the queen that looks like such a bitch was her mom, but it was her stepmom, which is why they weren't so sad when she died. But yeah, it was her former mother's, yeah. And she's like, no, the man half and the woman half are attracted to one another. So it's when they're destined to meet. Yep, and you'll come back for the battlefield. And he's like, no, I can't keep an important item as a keepsake. I kind of like this because in this moment, Griffith turning her down is like him saying, I don't want to take this because then I'm fighting for your dream for me to come back and be with you. And I don't fight for other people's dreams. He's like, did you not just listen to my speech at the fountain? Did you not hear me talk about how I want people to be my equal? What is this? That's kind of what it feels like. It feels like, no, I'm living for my own dream, girl. I don't want your dream. And he's like, but that's when he says, you know, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to give it back when I come back. And it's like, oh, you smooth son of a bitch. Uh-huh. And she's like, please be safe. And he's like, you there, knight? And that's when Casca's like, sure. And she's like, please protect Lord Griffith. And she's like, yes, your highness, even with my own life. She's not joking. I always did like in the anime that Charlotte never held any jealousy or concern about Casca being there and being a woman. She was fine with it. And Casca, honestly, she didn't actually have jealousy for Charlotte. She was just kind of like, damn it, should have been me. You know, one of those moments. And then he's like, let's go. Look at this bitch. Look at her showing up. Because her calling her mother instead of stepmother, that part was a little bit confusing. But it's medieval times. They don't, once you're remarried, you're technically mother, whatever. She's like, what do you think you're doing? Look at that snake-like headdress and all of that. All them elaborate beads. Like, she's just like using the royalties' money to get a boob job, you know. She is frightfully, looks instantly sinister. And she's like, it's my business who I give my things to. I like that Charlotte stands up for herself. I like she tries to. She's like a little kid, but she tries to. You gave your gifts to a man of humble birth. You're 16 now. You're not a child. You're princess of the Midland. At least she's 16. I was wondering how old Charlotte was. I was a little bit concerned. She was like 13 or 14. I was going to be like, 16's not much better, but it's better than 13 or 14. And back then in medieval times, 16 was practically their 21. So they weren't living very long. So you got to make a move. All right. Nice. The horse is ready to move out. Everybody's ready to go. I do like that Charlotte stands up to her stepmom a wee bit. This is interesting. Them going out, seeing all of the peasantry on the sidelines. That one person has like one leg with their little straw-haired child next to them. Nice. On the way. That's that picture of Guts. Okay. I think a friend is one who is my equal. I feel so bad because Guts is like, I want to be Griffith's friend, but are we not friends? And his eyes just look so haunted and dead inside. Poor Guts. Poor Guts. And then, yep, rumbling. Oh, is this Adonis with the trident? Oh, it is engagement. Aha, here we go. Here's Blastoise. Here's Adonis with the whale flag. I do love their design. I love the armor on Adon's horse. Not Adonis, Adon's horse. I love Adon's armor. I love the whale flag. So freaking cool. I love it. Engagement. Nice. Oh, at a time like this. Girl. Like I said in the anime, if you are not a woman, I don't know if you understand the trials and tribulations of periods. They suck. it's like you're really bitchy before it all goes down and you just want to eat 1,000 things. And then during the whole deal, your body is like shedding its entire like inner lining of your skin. And you're just like, this sucks. This is great. Love it. And you just like feel miserable. You're tired. You don't want to move. Your body is aching all over. And you're just expelling like blood and you're not dying. So it's a great time. But I feel for Casca, and I'm glad Miura actually addresses this. I'm like, good. We talked about how Miura and Kusanagi, who is the author of Yona of the Dawn, that they were really close friends. And in Yona of the Dawn, there's a chapter where the main character Yona goes through her period. So, and it's kind of a fantasy story too. So I wonder if he like saw that chapter and talked, which this came before that. So I'm sure they talked and he was like, how's this going to go? I love the horses and everything. Oh, I like the shields. The shield designs are really cool. That's awesome. Oh God, the mace. It's been a while since we've had any like blood and guts, that's like gratuitous. The sword slashing with Adonis and Julius was quite tame in comparison. Oh, look at little Rickert with the crossbow. He's like, poo poo. Like, look at him. Look at him. And he's like, this is a melee. I like that Judo is like, this is a bit. This is a bit much. And there's Casca. Yep. Oh no, the stirrup straining. Oh shit. Yeah, trying to fight. Oh my gosh, on a horseback like that. Oh man. Adon is frightful. Wow. They make Adon look really threatening, because Adon was kind of like, Adon had this feeling of being just kind of like vaudeville villain, like mustache twirling, like Sonic the Hedgehog villain-esque, and he was voiced by the voice actor for Robotnik in the English dub. But yeah, he's like, you're her, the woman who commands 1,000 of the band of the Hawk. And she's like, excuse me, hi, how you doing? Glad you know my accolades. I can't stomach a woman being played as a knight. Oh no, he's sexist, not a misogynist, man. In medieval times, who'd have thunk? Ugh. She's like, excuse me. She's like, I didn't ask for you to say any of this. Like, I'm just doing my thing. Ugh. You bastard. Yeah. Oh, damn. No, I do like the fact that he has a trident as a weapon, right? Yep. This battlefield is a sacred ground of men. Adon, head of the Blue Whale, ultra heavy armored fierce assault annihilation Knight Corps. He was really intimidating until he like reveals how corny he is, and then you're like, wait, what? And then, yeah, shall teach you the folly of frivolity and setting foot, like the alliteration. I can't. He looks so imposing and intimidating, and then he's like keeps talking, and you're like, wait, never mind. Oh, Casca, and she's like, get back. Yeah, you are extremely fatigued if you're in your period, so that all makes sense. Oh my god, yeah. And he just like swipes their heads off. Why? Why? No. Weaklings being led by a woman. She's like, damn it. She looks so tiny compared to him. Oh no. Adorn yourself. You adorn yourself like a man, but you're quite the gem. Mm-hmm. Ugh. She's like, I don't want to be your harlot. Go to hell, dog. Ugh. And they're like, big sis. Ah, there we go. And Guts is like, this ain't like you. Like, why are you doing this? You lout. I like that we're getting Adon's personality coming out here. Come on. Oh. Anyone will do. I just feel like swinging this with all my might until I can't think about anything else. Guts is like, I am pissed. So let's just you caught me on a bad day. I'm having some real soul searching problems. This is not good. Mira, I mean, this is a beautiful pinup of Casca, and I love it. I like the idea of, I'm okay with this because it's of her, like, I do think it's fine for a woman to express her sexuality as empowerment. And I like the idea that underneath this armor, underneath this facade of not facade, but underneath this portrayal of power, she is a woman underneath it. And I like that the breast is exposed. You basically have her vagina there, just exposing, her as a woman. I'm okay with that. It's tasteful. I like it. I like that spread. She looks really pretty there. I like it. All right. And she's like, yeah, I know that I'm having a problem. It's not been a good day. Oh, I like the motion of the trident spinning. That looks really, really good. Oh my God, yes. Can you stop this? The ultimate spear technique, which can crush marble passed down secretly through the Corbelwitz family for 140 years. Again, he starts out, Adon is so intimidating, and then the more he talks, the more you're like, this guy's kind of corny, but okay, sure. What does it say? Gonsen Simpu, which translates to rock cutting whirlwind. And Guts is just like, no. There we go. There's his face. There's old. He's got the buzz cut and everything. There's Adon. There's the Adon that we know and love. How about that? He's like, so what? You took him down with 2 swings. He's like, what's wrong with you? Your fighting's horrible. And then girl just passed out. Oh, damn it. Adon, no! Quit. And then of course he's like, gets Guts in the side. Like, damn it. Oh, I like that you can see Judo and Corcus talking about them. Oh, hell. And they both fell off the cliff. Damn it. Here we go. Guts and Casca. But then the fighting still continues. Poor Guts had like he gets arrows in his side and his arms all the time. Yep. I'm never doing that again. Swimming with my armor on. Yeah, no joke. Oh. I like his little face when he checks her pulse. Like the little face that he makes where he's like this. That's so freaking cute. Anytime Guts has his hair down, like matted over his face, it makes him look 10 years younger. It makes him look instantly younger and more innocent, right? Ugh. Yeah, that sucks. Oh, poor Guts. Get that arrow out of there. Oof. That whale bastard. He's fish bait next time I see him. Yep. Okay, if we scale that cliff, how do we get back? Oh, I like this. Like, you see the air breath, and he's like, it's cold. Like, it's a cold rain. Nothing is worse than a cold rain. I would almost rather take snow than to take a cold rain, because it just, like, chills you to the bone, right? And he's like, oh, a high fever. That's why she fainted. I guess he was like, oh, okay, she's sick. That's what it is. And then Griffith's like, Guts and Casca. It was a high cliff. He's like, what does he say there? He'd be wounded and something's wrong with Casca. We should send out a search party. But Sir Griffith, do you understand? In war, conquering the enemy is the most important. To spare valuable troops from those granted by the king to confirm the life or death of at best a unit commander would be outrageous. Besides, the Band of the Hawk's highly touted raiders and captain and female commander are together, are they not? But they brought this upon themselves by engaging in personal combat. And I like that they're like, Corcus is about to say something and Judo's like, cut it off. No. They ought to be able to surmount a dilemma with ease if they're alive. I like that Judo and Corcus are both like, I like Corcus's concern in that moment. I was like, good on you, Corcus, for having some concern for them. And then the lightning striking around Griffith being like, what's he going to do? Is he going to leave him or is he going to send a search party? Meanwhile, I like that we have old Guts here bandaging his wounds. And Casca, he's like, now what to do? We can't light a fire. And Casca can't leave here for a while. His face. His face where he's like... You know what? I love this moment so much where Guts is like, I don't want to do this, but there's really no choice. Like, he's like, she's gonna, that look on his face is a look of, she's gonna bitch at me so much when she wakes up. That's the look on his face. He's like, I am asking for it, but at this point, I don't have much of a choice. Yep, I don't have much of a choice. Oh! Can't be helping it. There's no other way. That's just the way it is. It's not like it's my first time with her. What a pain. What is she thinking going into battle with a fever? This is why women don't make any sense. Oh, shit. Well, yeah. Did you get wounded? You know what? Kudos to Mira for actually showing it. And being like, no, there it is. He's like, so that's it. Must be rough being a woman. This is the moment where Guts became a feminist icon, and I say that as unironically as possible. Because here's the thing. A lot of people think that feminism is like bra burning or like women being like, women are better than men. That's really not what feminism is. Feminism is about like equality and equity among genders. That's pretty much what it is. So as long as you like recognize and don't be like, men are so much superior to women, that's not really what it is. And it's kind of the same way. I think sometimes I teach a lot of students where the girls are like boys need to know their place. And I'm like, that's not feminism. That's, you being mean to a bunch of guys. That's not the same thing. So, and trying to tell them, I'm like, new wave feminism is a little different than the 70s. So I do like where Guts here is like, man, that sucks. And like respect, I love this moment with Guts, and kudos to Mira for being bold enough to show it. I've never seen somebody show like a period in manga. Kudos to them. Oh, him standing there. In the preview, you couldn't see him as well, but in the preview, he was from a distance. Under here, his little grump face where he's holding her, he's like, and standing watch with his sword. That's so cute. Mm-hmm. Okay. And this is where she's having her flashback. You know how to fight, don't you? Oh, Casca with the fuzzy hair. Look at that. Okay. Casca, chapter 2. Oh, okay. Yo, put my clothes back on. Still looking fine as hell. I like that he gave her the little tree limbs. Like the little fern branches to like cover her up. That's really cute. That's nice. That was nice of him. It's like, we're in a cave. We're in a van down by the river. Yep. The falling into the river saved us. He's like, don't you remember a thing? I love that Guts has no patience. He's just like, don't you remember a thing? He's like, after I headed out with that whale jerk, you lost your footing and fell off the cliff. It's like, you're pretty easygoing considering you almost drowned. He's like, lay down with the fever. It's not dropping yet. Uh-huh. She's like, well, what could I do? You were soaking wet and freezing to death. He's like, what's that look for? Yeah, well, he's like, that hurt. And here I saved you. I like it's more cartoony in the manga because that gives it a more lighthearted tone until the knife comes out. Yeah, I like the Guts is like, oh shit, I tried to save her and she's pissed. Mm-hmm. Nice. And there's like bloodstains on the cape. I like that. Little details. Being tasteful nudity. You hysteric bitch. I'm not trying to lord this over, but I'm the one who almost died dragging you out of the river with armor on. Why'd you hurl a knife at me? If you weren't a woman, I'd knock your jaw right out of joint for that. And that's when Casca's like, gee, thanks. I just got chided for being a woman by Whale Bastard, and now you're saying you'd clock me if I was not a woman. So cool. Nice. It's like you're always so damn ready to be pissed about something. She's like, I wasn't born a woman because I wanted to be. I'm glad that Casca stands up for herself in that moment. And I like the idea of the cloak like covering half of her. I like that it covers her heart. as well, where she's like, look, she's like, thanks for making fun of me and for getting mad at me for being a woman. I didn't choose this, I can't help the way that I am, oh, bless her. He says now she's crying. Feminist icon Guts, am I right? He's like, sorry, I don't really get it. I like the Guts is like, I don't understand you. It's like, son of a, calm your ass down. I want to force you. Ugh. And then I like that he gives her the shirt. He's like, put this on. I was wearing it so it's dry already. Oh. I like she's just fiddling with the fern leaves. Like, how dare this sucks. Oh, I love when she has like the boyfriend shirt on. It's nice. She's like, shut up, look away. You're the only one I didn't want to be saved by. And Guts says she really hates me. I shouldn't have saved her. Oh. Why did you join the Band of the Hawk? Isn't it rough for a woman fighting for a living? He's like, I like that he says you don't have to tell me. And she's like, I joined because of Griffith. Same as Guts. Mm-hmm. My home village. Yep. I like that they showed it snowing there and everything. I like that. And then, yeah, and her with the longer hair there. We were used to being robbed and walked over. I thought that was just a way that was so natural. And so then she was bought by the nobleman, and he was going to assault her. Yep. It was obvious when you think about it. This was his aim from the beginning. And then I love this idea that when she's being assaulted by him, she's like, it's natural. Those two ideas were always in my heart that helped me stay connected to reality. But just then, Griffith shows up on the white horse and chops his ear off. Oh, says, does being born of nobility mean that you're chosen by God? And I like that it wasn't even him like helping her necessarily. He wasn't helping her just because she was being assaulted. He was like, who do you think you are? You're no different than anybody else. Why do you think that you have more power and authority here? It was so strange, as if it was the image of a saint adorning the wall of a village church. It came to life. And I love the Guts is in the background there being like, I could see that. Yeah. I thought God had taken pity on this miserable, powerless girl and sent an angel. That seemed how it seemed for me at 12 years old. But what the angel extended wasn't like a fairy tale helping hand. He's like, if you have something to protect, then take up that sword. If you want to protect your dignity, your body, who you are, then take up that sword and kill him. And protect yourself. And that's what she did. Yep. I killed someone for the first time. Oh. And then, yeah. Griffith bending down. Yep. He nodded slowly and deeply. But that was the real helping hand. The fear didn't vanish, but the feelings of guilt and regret faded. His magnificence and the warmth of the blanket he gave me filled my heart. I like the idea of the fear not vanishing. Like she was still afraid, but she didn't feel guilty or regret from that moment of protecting herself. Right? Oh. And then like we're finished. And then, okay, so yeah. So they took everything out of they're mercenaries. They took everything out of the carriage. And she's like, what should I do? And he says, do as you wish. He's like, I just, gave you a means to fight. I don't care what you do. And then she said, let me come with me. Let me come with you. Is that, oh, it is Corcus. Yeah. Yep. Corcus and Pippin and Judo. How can we fight with women and kids along? And she's like, I can't go back. So you showed up. I want to come with y'all. If you tell me to learn the sword, I will. And he's like, you might die. And she's like, well, I was about to die a minute ago. So, do as you wish. Whether to come a lot is your decision. And that's when I like the blood on her hand. That's when she decides to go. Yep. Yep, you gave me the sword and the blanket. You gave me the blanket for security and the sword to protect myself. Yeah, and that's kind of like a metaphor for her and the Band of the Hawk, that the Band of the Hawk became that blanket, and the sword he gave her was the way she could fight. Nice. Okay. So I assume we're going to finish up the flashback next week in starting volume 3. Interesting. Yeah, ending with that face of Griffith. Right? Griffith is such a neutral character in that flashback because he doesn't, like, he just saw someone struggling and he's like, I'll just see what I can do and even the odds, but what she does after that's fine, whatever. I really like volume 4's cover of Guts with the sword and the blood there. Oh man, the one with Zod, that's probably like the busier covers that we've had so far. Ooh, with Zod there with the wings. That's like a very busy cover. All right. And then we see Corcus and Judo and Rickert and Pippin there and Casca and Griffith. Griffith with like the periwinkle hair is so bizarre. But dim lips, let me tell you. Oh, I love Guts with the helmet there, with the dead stare, like he's guarding himself, like guarding his inner thoughts now that he's heard that from Griffith. Nice. We're going to get anything extra? Nope, not this go round. I don't think so. Just some information about Mira, and that's all she wrote. Oh, that's all she wrote for this volume. How about that? Oh. Volume 2. Dunzo. Nice. Nice. All right. Okay, cool. Well, this was a really, really nice deluxe edition. A nice volume 6. Getting to the part of Guts and Casca talking in the cave. I'm glad that we didn't get all of it done this volume. We get to go and see more of it next week and get to see like the rest of her. We're going to definitely get the chapters of her with Griffith and her telling Guts that, you know, that she likes Griffith and everything and like how dare he and all that. Like that's going to be interesting. So I'm super excited, but I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. This was a really good volume. I enjoyed it. I'm excited to hear your thoughts and then to dive in next week and start the deluxe edition volume 3. I'm excited for volume 3 because it was almost sold out when I bought it. And I was like, whew, very, very excited to see what all we get in that one. So, but we'll find out, won't we? So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care. And yeah, I'll be back really soon with more Berserk. Bye!